Hi, my name is Stephen Ho. I'm a senior technician at Worthington University, and I'd like to talk to you about some of the products, Grandstream IP telephone systems. Before I get any further, we always recommend you follow code and that you do a proper installation and be properly licensed and insured. So, what is the difference between an IP phone system and a conventional phone system? Well, an IP phone system very simply is run as part of your network on a Cat5, as opposed to being run in the regular phone lines. It is a network system, so it would be network support. Now, basically, what the main differences are is you have what's called SIP trunking, which rather than a traditional phone line is actually phone lines over the internet. A little bit different from a voice over IP like a Vonage or something like that, but more of a multi-line system. Portable extensions. You don't have to have extensions in the same building. Your extension could be anywhere in the world as long as you have internet service. You can convert faxes to emails, have smartphone integration. We actually do video conferencing. And some features of a IP phone system is like voicemail built in. You can convert your voicemails to emails. You can interconnect remote offices and even work in multiple countries. Now, the difference between the Grandstream phone system and some of the other voice over IP phone systems is that with Grandstream you have a SIP server. What this SIP server does, it allows you to have all your services in-house. You're not paying for a leased line, you're not leasing your equipment, so your customer would actually own the entire system. You'd be able to service it. You wouldn't be paying, again, no rental fees for the equipment, and programming changes are very simple. Now, the topology of an IP phone system is that you're going to have your internet connection to your building router, to your network switches, to your Grandstream, and then typically you go out of the Grandstream into another switch to feed all of your phones. There are other ways of doing this, because like I said, since the phones can be in remote locations, this can be plugged into a network somewhere else in the world, talking back to your SIP server. They have a bunch of different models of phones available. I just have two models showing here. These are their top of the line phones. They have phones that work all the way down to very, very basic, something slightly more than a POTS line phone. This is their 7-inch Android phone. So it has a video camera built into it. It has a full screen video. Everything is touchscreen. All of these phones have the ability to, you can add apps to them, weather reports, and it has an HDMI out to feed into a TV set for video conferencing. It can handle 6 different accounts to be connected to multiple systems. You can also plug your computer directly to the back of this thing. This way, if you only have one network line to that location, you can just share that one wire back to the main network hub. This is the 4.3-inch Android model. It still has all the Android features built into it, but it has a standard telephone button. So if you have somebody who may not be willing to go with a full touchscreen system, they can still have all the Android features and the video phone features, but still have their standard phone push buttons. Now, on the Android systems, either one of these things, you can add Skype or other music services. I should say Skype or other communication services, music, games, and do automation apps. We have over on this one automation apps for Zapato, for Lutron, for Leviton Omni systems, for on controls, multiple things that can be added to this as far as apps are concerned. There's a feature built into all the phones from Grandstream called IP Video Talk. It's a free service from Grandstream, which allows 2 phones in other parts of the world to talk to each other as a video conferencing. An example of that would be you've got a grandmother in Florida and the grandkids up in Minnesota, and they like to talk to each other. So you plug both of these into the networks of the respective locations, and there's a 7-digit number that you would dial to be able to call the other. So it wouldn't need any phone lines, wouldn't need anything other than the internet connection, and allow you to do that. So just a neat little feature that a lot of people find useful. It can also be used for businesses. You can also do a conferencing solution from Grandstream. It's a paid service, but it allows you to have multiple phones conferencing together in one system. Other phones that are available are the typical enterprise phones you would find in a business environment, where there wouldn't be any video or Android built into them, but has all the features of any other high-end telephone system would have. So you have the 2160, which has 24 flexible or direct dial, direct station selection buttons. It has it can handle 6 accounts. It can support headsets. It's PoE powered, so powered off of your network, so you don't have to have any extra transformers at each location. The 2140 doesn't have any of the DSS buttons, but it does allow you to do all the features of the 2160 as far as the telephone functions are concerned. 2130 has 8 flexible buttons, so it might be for a smaller business. Maybe there's only 8 extensions in the building, only needing 8 of the flexible buttons for it. If you need to have a lot of buttons, like a larger location, because this system can handle 150 extensions, you can add an extension module called the GXP2200EXT, and that'll allow you to add multiple of those. You can add a total of 160 extensions just by adding those modules onto the system. There's those small business models, which have fewer features, but can be used in a small business where they don't need a lot of phone features, but are trying to be economical with their phones. That's the 1600 series. The 1630 has 8 flexible buttons. It can only handle 3 SIP accounts, but again, for a small business, it's probably something you're not going to need. It still supports Plantronics headsets. The 1628 is a little bit smaller phone, but it has fewer buttons, but also will support any small business. Cordless phones are very simple. They use a DECT phone called the 720. It goes to a base called the 750, and you have a range of about 300 meters outdoors or 50 meters indoors, and it all depends on the construction of the building. You can add multiple handsets to the one base station to allow you to support more users, and you can also add additional base stations. They don't move from base station to base station, but you can actually register them on all the base stations. Now talk about the PBX. Now this little unit right here is a 2-line PBX, which means it has 2 analog lines into it. But don't think it stops there, because you can actually have 50 SIP trunk lines going to this thing. So through the network connection, you can feed 50 lines into it, plus the 2 analog lines. You have 500 users, and you have 60 calls going on at the same time. You have an auto attendant, which they call IVR. You can have 5 levels, so you have 5 levels down of auto attendant. Voicemail is built in, so for the cost of what you pay for voicemail for a typical PBX phone system is built in here, and this system costs less than that voicemail will cost. It has zero config, which allows you to find all the phones in your network and be able to actually program them through one web interface as opposed to going around and programming them individually. There's 4 models available. The 6202, which is for 2 incoming POTS lines, 6204, 4 incoming POTS lines, 6208 for 8, and 6216 for 16 incoming lines. So thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions about IP phone systems or anything in the automation world, you can give us a call at Worthington Distribution. That's 800-282-8864, or you can send a question to sales@worthdist.com. Thank you.